Sports cars come in many flavours. There are the exotics from the likes of Ferrari and Lamborghini, everyday, easy-to-drive supercars like the Porsche 911 Carrera and the Audi R8 V10, and of course, hardcore sports cars, sports coupes, and even sports sedans. But if you're a petrol head, a sports car needs to be a roadster. And in the modern context, the most successful roadster of all time hails from Japan. It's a Mazda, and it's called the MX-5.
The legendary two-seater turns 21 this year, which gives some indication of its success and its longevity. In fact, more than 1 million MX-5s have been sold since its 1989 debut. More importantly, its arrival triggered a roadster renaissance that spawned rivals like the BMW Z3 and Z4, the Porsche Boxster and the Audi TT. But none of these has remained so true to the original roadster concept as the MX-5. It links low mass and compact dimensions to undiluted driving fun.
The styling of this latest MX-5 hasn't changed dramatically. The silhouette remains essentially the same, combining a long prowling nose and a pert rear with short overhangs, wide tracks and a slim, tapered waistline.
Compared to the previous model, this facelifted version gets a larger 5-sided grille, more pronounced sills and wheel arches, and lots of intricate detailing. The changes are meant to add a certain aggression to the appearance, but compared to the previous model's purity of design, the result is fussy and contrived. The MX-5 identity still shines through though, and essential elements like the short overhangs, the relatively big wheels, and the raked windscreen have been retained. Extensive color coding can make the car look bulbous from some angles, while the taillight clusters add a modern high-tech touch. Twin exhausts jut out from the rear apron. Another departure from the MX-5 norm is the fact that this latest model is offered as a tin top only. Yes, the roof can still be folded down at the push of a button, but the canvas alternative is no longer an option in South Africa.
And that's a pity, because the canvas hood has been such an integral part of the original MX-5 recipe that the folding metal hood, as much as it's clever and convenient, robs this car of some of its classic appeal.
Clever it certainly is. The roof stows away in a dedicated receptacle behind the seats and doesn't encroach on boot space at all, which is just as well. At just 150 litres, there isn't much of a boot to start off with. The cockpit is everything you'd expect of a roadster, however, snug, comfortable and well equipped. The heated sport seats are shaped for support, the small steering wheel looks and feels just right, and the analog instrument dials are clearly legible. Visibility is good from the low-slung driving position, and the short stubby gear lever clicks through the gates with precision. Climate control, electric windows and mirrors, a Bose audio system with CD changer and multifunction controls on the steering wheel are all standard too.
The MX-5's 2-litre engine hasn't changed that much. In fact, it's only the rev limiter that's moved slightly upwards. Maximum power 118 kilowatt, maximum torque 186 Newton meters. But the interesting thing is that the European specs for this car with its manual transmission provide a power figure of 125 kilowatts and 190 Newton meters. Wonder what the difference is here.
We may have to make do with less muscle locally, but the engine still revs freely to 7,000 RPM and beyond. Its peaky nature encourages drivers to make full use of that slick 6-speed gearbox, and the result is a car that urges one to explore its full performance potential at every opportunity. Seated low, the impression of speed is far greater than the speedometer suggests, while the sonic pleasures of the engine in full cry and the rush of the slipstream add further appeal. With the top down, those sensations become even more apparent and more enjoyable.
The MX-5 is no supercar, but it's no slouch when it comes to performance either. 0 to 100 time around 7.5 seconds, and it should reach a top speed of about 214 kilometers an hour. But there's more to this car than straight line speed.
A particular highlight of the MX-5 is its ability to communicate. Piloting the two-seater is utterly intuitive and enthralling, and it soon becomes an extension of the driver's intentions, so that the reactions to steering and throttle inputs are instant and unequivocal. Turn-in is sharp and precise, and the grip levels are high. In fact, very few cars are as much fun to drive when it comes to curves and corners.
No wonder the MX-5 is considered a modern-day sports car classic. Its combination of low weight, crisp steering and instant throttle response provides an undiluted driving experience, which, however, is best experienced in the twists and turns of a mountain pass.
But the MX-5 also offers more pragmatic benefits. For instance, it only sips fuel at a rate of 7.6 litres per 100 kilometres, and at 181 grams per K, the CO2 exhaust emissions rating is pretty impressive too. Safety features include dual front and side airbags, dynamic stability control, and all-disc brakes with ABS. A 4-year 60,000 service plan is standard.
But the appeal of the MX-5 doesn't rely on advanced systems or clever features. It's all about the grin factor, the smile that appears on your face every time you get behind the wheel of this car and that you simply can't get rid of. In fact, the car spells fun with a capital F, and it never ever lets you forget it.
So, what does the MX-5 cost? While 344,250 Rand is by no means cheap, the capability and dynamic appeal of this sexy Mazda makes it worth every cent. A willing engine, snappy gearbox and a superbly responsive chassis make the Mazda MX-5 a truly great modern-day sports car. It's handsome too, while the metal folding roof ingeniously transforms the Roadster into a coupe when raised. However, it's neither cheap nor practical.